a physical trainer, you're also an entrepreneur. What inspired you to become a physical trainer and how did it started for you?
Yeah, so I do few things. So one of them is a personal trainer or physical trainer and nutrition coach. I used to be very fat. I used to be like obese and I didn't have confidence. So and I wasn't very healthy. So I always been studying so hard. After I lost the weight and I felt the energy and happiness, I just felt like I want to do it for others as well because there's a confidence comes with it, mentally and it's physically. But anytime you have an achievement, there is a confidence of achievement comes with it. So it's not only about the physical. It's like you will get some type of mental toughness that yes, I can do it. I did want to do it for others as well because it's just such a fantastic feeling for a person who changed their physical.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting. In terms of becoming a physical trainer and all the niceties that comes with it,
Yes.
did you have to go through extensive training in terms of qualifications? Tell me a little bit about how
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
qualified to become
Yes.
a trainer.
Yeah. So if you don't know, my background is tennis. I used to compete internationally in tennis. So I was in a ITF. So I used to be I was 16 at that time. So I would 16 to 19. I was an assistant coach, tennis coach. But I did have my personal trainer certification as well. I was working in the gym that was in the fitness club, sorry, in the tennis club. But when I came to America, that certification is not accepted here. It's much more complicated in America. So I came here. I did not know any English. Quickly, I learned it within 2 3 months, and I started taking the course. And there is a course. There are different ways to get it, but the course that I took usually it takes around 6 months. But I did it in 3 months, very because I wanted it to be in the fitness. So I did my course and then you go and you go somewhere in person, you do the test, and I did pass the test, and I do actually have 7 certifications. So personal trainer is one of them. So I that's how basically someone can get personal trainer, and even people can go through the college and be a trainer, but I wanted to get it faster. So I went in a faster, like an individual course, and it called NASM. So it's one of the top certification. It's like one of the most science heavy course. So it's not a small course. It's like one of the top. And it's NASM and ACE is one of the top courses in America, and then there are internationally is approved in all the countries. So I went through the NASM, and most of my certification is through NASM because it's just accepted everywhere.
After completing your studies and all your certification, how difficult was it difficult for you to get a job? Tell me a little bit about that transition.
So I would say when I came to America, I already knew I want to be a personal trainer. I already knew it. So when I went to the Gold's Gym, and I did not know how to speak English at that time. So I went to the Gold's Gym. They said my certification is not accepted. I started working in Gold's Gym in a kids club because I knew this is where I'm going to be a trainer. So that's why it was easy for me. So I quickly got my certification while I was working in a Gold's Gym, and I already had a good connection with the managers and everyone. I always had the background in the sport. So it wasn't very tough for me, but I know people that been because I was already working there in a kids club. But I know for so many people it's a little bit tough, especially if they don't know a lot about nutrition and fitness. For me, it wasn't that hard because I already was into the sport and I was already coaching basically before coming to America.
Do you think it is harder for women?
So there are most of trainers are men. We do have women's, but definitely it's something that more men's is dominated. But I wouldn't say it's harder for women to get a job because there are so many one female coach. So demand is there, and there are a lot of men who want female coach as well. But so demand is there. So I wouldn't say it's harder for female, but there is definitely more male in it than a female.
Tell me about your first real experience as a trainer.
My first real experience. So I was a tennis coach. So I put that tennis aside in America. Again, it was amazing. My first ever client in America was a very sweet woman, and she was a little bit like a older age, not old, but she was like 72. So she was my first client, and we trained for 5 6 months, and she definitely, it just was amazing. She was very nice because my English was bad at that time. She was very patient with my English, so I was using my hand more than talking, but no, it was amazing. And she definitely made some good progress because she wanted to get stronger.
You have worked with non-athletes and you have worked with athletes. So we're
Yeah.
going to talk about the non-athletes
Yes.
first.
Yes.
What is that like working with what you would call normal people? Normal people meaning they're not athletes. What is that like?
Yeah. So there is a big difference between athletes and a person who is there for their health. Athletes, we are there to push them to win the competition. So I'm sorry for my language. We really kick the ass
No,
when
you're
they're
fine.
working with the athlete. Like we really make sure like they're like draining. Like, if there is a running, you got to go all the way in it. If there is the workout is much more intense on a different style. So, for example, if I'm working with someone that is just here to lose weight, doesn't have any competition coming up, so we take it easier mentally. So it's easier for them to make it as a part of lifestyle. There is no match there. So we do like a traditional bodybuilding style. Like, what is that? Like, I will do you know reps and sets, and you can do cardio later. Versus when I'm working with the athlete, cardio, like, there's a lot of power exercises in the middle of the exercise, so they can do a lot of medicine ball, slam, throw, and that catches the breathe. They can do battle rope. I don't do it with the regular, with the lifestyle client, because I want them to not mentally not be so hard for them. And there is a big difference. The athletes, they usually like what they're doing. They already, it's there by their choice, and they enjoy that part. And a lot of people who comes to train with the trainers, and you would, most of them are beginner. So they don't have a background, and they're not happy to be there. So if I really, force them very hard, they're already not liking it, then they don't like it at all. So it would be a miserable session for them.
How important is physical training for an athlete's development?
Yeah, very important. Very, very, very important. Because see, you will get your, speed, agility, like through the, running. But there's some power and force and, strength that you cannot get it from there. If you want to jump higher, there are certain variation you need to do with the weight. If you, anything that is there, I feel like the fitness, like running, it's like a mother of the exercise. Whatever you do, you need to do you should have some base of the muscle under it. And also it decreases the chance of, what do you call it, injuries, because you have all the muscle around that, that joint that is now protecting that joint to be stable. So that also helps. So I will say very important.
How do you assess levels, athletes' fitness level when designing your programs or a program for them?
Yeah. So it's different. It depends on what they do. So, for example, a person who plays soccer, their workout is different. A person who plays, what do you call it, like basketball, or someone who plays different variation, it's different. But there are some, but universal. Like when we start taking the courses, we go through different assessments. So, we can test their, cardiovascular system health. We will test their strength. We will test their core strength. It's like different tests that we will do. And there is a chart for it that if this person does this amount or this weight within this amount of time, this is the level. So we do a few, and then we'll say, okay, this is the level that she is in or he is in. So that's how we do it. There's like some universal uh, assessment in it for it.
So, in other words, it is personal and it is not really geared towards a group. It is more individual assessment.
Yes, 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 because each person has completely different body, different muscle imbalance. So yeah.
How important is dieting to physical training, if there is such a
Mainly
thing?
is diet. Mainly is what you eat. Mainly, like, you can work out really hard, and if your eating is not good, for most part, you're not getting. I mean, you're getting somewhere, but not even as close. Because I would say more is eating than doing the workout. And eating is harder than doing the exercise, because eating is all throughout the day, and the exercise is 2 hours a day. If there are athletes, 4 hours a day, right? But it's just, I would say it's like more than 50%. Many people say 80%. I would agree with that 80% that is eating. if,
Wow.
if we want to say like 80% is eating, 20% is like coach, like a workout, I would say 70 to 80% is eating that food. Because even when I was athlete myself, there were certain food that when I would eat it, I couldn't play tennis properly. Like I would go out of breath. Like if I would have so much sugar or oily food, I couldn't run. So it just impacts so much on the performance in the sport.
Okay, so in other words, it is if you're going out to run or to train or any form of workout, how long before you do that workout you should have your meal?
So I would say depends. So if you want to have a good meal, I would say don't have it at least 2.5 to 3 hours before that. The more this is better. I would say 4 hours is the best, but sometimes if you have a very big meal, you will feel it even after 2 hours. But if it's a small meal, just have it. But if it's a snack, because you have a pre-workout snack. So for example, you want to have some snack, you have 2 hours of lifting, and that one banana, a rice cake with peanut butter, you can have it 30 minutes before your workout, and that's fine because the volume is small. But if you're gonna have a nice meal, it would be better 2 to 3 hours, better 4 hours before your workout, so the energy still is in your body, but your stomach is not full, so you can really push yourself.
How important is it for athletes to communicate or collaborate with other healthcare professionals, such as a physical therapist or a nutritionist, to ensure that they, receive comprehensive care when, if and when
Yeah.
there is a problem? Is it necessary to consult your doctor before you start a workout?
So before you start your workout, if you're a healthy person, usually no. But if you have some type of chronic disease, yeah, please, because it's also, you need to have a doctor letter say, okay, this is the exercise, it's better for you to do it. If there's someone having like some chronic issue, yeah, because the person who have blood pressure, we train them differently than the person who doesn't have. Or a pregnant lady, we train them differently. But if we are talking about the athletes, I would say the reason I end up not playing tennis was because of my injuries. Just think about a car. So if there is a small problem with your car, if you take it to the mechanic at the very beginning, it's much easier to fix it. Then letting it run and run and run, and all of a sudden now everything is problem with the car, and now you want to go fix it. It's very important to have consistently being in touch with the doctor. If the smallest problem, I would say always talk to the doctor, because you don't know what you don't know. So it's like I always say, don't try being an expert. Let the expert to take care of it.
True.
Yeah. So
An athlete who is injured, would you recommend that they recover 100% before they comes back to training or competition, or it is okay to do a workout even though you're injured? Tell me a little bit about injuries and workout.
yeah, so it depends what injury they have. If the ankle is very important, but if they twist their ankle, definitely they can do a lot more variation. They can just literally come sit and do a lot of exercises. They can still do exercises standing, but It depends what injury it is. If it's a small minor injury, yeah, just come on and do your workout. If it's a, it's in a rest, injury, it depends how bad it is. But if it's a rest, you can still do certain things, and for the athletes, it's not always the physical training, it's a mentally also. So if someone is professional, you will see them, they will sit in a corner before they work out, they will imagine themselves running fast, they will imagine themselves playing tennis. So it's also that part also, so they can focus on the mental part of it. Because
I'm happy that you mention the mental. I've heard a lot of athletes saying sport is more mental
mental,
than physical. Tell me a little
right,
bit about your experience and what you've seen with
right.
the mental versus the physical.
Right. You know what's crazy? We usually say, I mean, it's not always true, but usually before you enter to the court or to the place to play, the person mind is 80% knows is it going to be a winner or loser. If there is no confidence in it, if it's not enough mental preparation, it's different from physical preparation. If you don't have enough confidence, mental preparation, you didn't sit and imagine yourself. This is very important because I used to like play like uh, tennis very competitively. So it's, if you didn't sit and imagine yourself, you're in a court that you've seen it, and you are playing tennis or you are running that there and doing certain things. When you enter to the field on the match, it's just not as much prepared as you are. That mentality thing is very important. Like imagining yourself winning, imagining yourself, I'm way stronger than the person. Just that mental toughness, I would say, is very important than the physical toughness, because I had myself experience that. Oh my God, I was way more skilled than my competitor, but I was afraid of her because I lost from her before. Like 2 years ago, I lost from her, and now I'm stronger than her. But I had that mentality again. So that mentality is everything.
How
It's
do
very
you
important.
recover? How do you recover from that? You were defeated by someone and then you have to face them again. Tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about how you gather yourself to
Oh,
recover.
yes, yes. And again, like to me, there is a fear. There is a fear. I'm not gonna lie. There is a fear that, oh my God, that person kicked my ass before. What if it happens again? And I did a lot of practice. I did play with her 3 times. I did end up playing with her. First 2 times I lost. Second time I could not lose. Like I had the potential to win, but it was my mental thing that made me to lose. And the third time I win. And the way that it worked, I took myself in this dark room, turn off the light, put the music. I don't want to hear anything. I sit and I meditate. That I see myself in the court. People are watching. She's right in front of me, and I'm walking confidently inside. And I do my best, and I see she's still not playing good, but I really like, nice forearm and backhand, nicer. I do imagine myself playing with that ball and running her around. So when I go to the court, then my fear is less because I have defeated her 10, 20 times before in my mind before I meet her for the last time. So it's important to defeat the person who is opposed to you before you even face to them, because that gives you that mentality. Okay, oh, I already defeated her or him 10 times, so this is an 11th. That mental thing, that meditating and thinking about winning and like playing very good, it definitely helps.
You are a physical trainer. You concentrate on the physical. Have you ever been put in a situation where you have to encourage someone mentally?
Oh my God, all the time. It's like I would say, we do, like, we work with their physical, but it's more psychology. You have to, because always, I have trained. If I say 100, I'm not lying. I did work with so many people. I did work, and always the reasons are the same. The reason why someone is not able to do certain things is always the same. And but you cannot directly tell them this is an excuse, and I heard it so many times. So if they say certain things, you have to just sit, but think about it. You still have this way. There's another way to achieve it. You have kids, that's fine. You have your morning. You want something, you have to sacrifice another thing for it. Come in the morning. If you want it that bad, you have to make time. It's about like motivating and letting them know, you have a chance. You can still make the time for it. You can still find a way around it if you truly want it. I would say I have been through that situation so many times. So it's like I would say it's a daily motivational speech we got to go through too, because not everyone love working out, and that's the truth.
Oh,
Some
that's
people,
true.
yeah, some people are there because they don't want to die. The doctor said your cholesterol is here, your blood sugar is high. They're here just because they have to. So you have to always go through them, enjoy the time with them. It's again, it's not always about the intensity. It's about that creating that habit of showing up and making it part of their life. We will give them a good workout, but we make sure they're not suffering and miserable entire the course. I will try let them talk. It's like I had a client. He was telling me, "You're like a doctor to me. I just come and I talk and talk and talk while working out. It makes me feel comfortable." So that this way, it encouraged them to come more often to the workout. So no, it's definitely a mental thing more than a physical thing as a coach. Yeah.
I realize that coaches wear a lot of hats.
Yes.
They are therapists, they are motivational speaker,
Right.
they are everything. How do you, and I know you've said a little bit of this already, but how do you motivate someone who is struggling to stay committed to their exercise routine, especially as it relates to an athlete who might have been injured and just want to give this thing up? How do you motivate those people to stay in the game?
Athletes are easier because they already have some mental toughness. Most of them, they have some type of what do you call it, like they already like what they're doing, that's why they're there, and they have some type of mental toughness. So one quick motivational speech, it keep them back to the game. They already have some mental toughness that they've been through it. It depends on what level, but they usually have the mental toughness. But the person who is just a lifestyle, she's a mom, and they have kids, she have to make food and she have to work. I would say that's the hardest, because every moment she's always there, this close to not show up. The few things that I always go through, why you are here. There is a reason you are here. You've been tired of what you were, and now you are here to make yourself better. And if you stop right now, again, you will be what you were. Think about 5 years from now, right? Think about next year. Think about 3 months. If you stop, what will be your situation? If you don't stop, what will be your situation? Just letting them know the reality. This was the reason you came here and you did not achieve it and you want to leave. No, you will achieve it, and then you will continue, even with me or without me, that's fine. You will achieve it, then you leave. It's about like reminding them, why did you sign up with me, why you are paying me to come here and try to help you to achieve what you want. And let me tell you this, when people start seeing result, it's easier for them to keep going. So at beginning it's a little shaky, and the result doesn't come easily. You will see all in the fitness on the Instagram, 12 weeks program. Like, it's not. That's why there's so many people would go up and on. It's like a yo-yo. It's not the way it works. It takes time for result to come. But when it comes, it makes you feel, oh my God, I achieved it. I'm going to keep going. They are afraid of losing what they achieved. So it's about keep reminding them why you are here. What will be your situation in next 10 months if you stop or if you don't stop? That would really help.
Do you each day when you're going out to work, whether you're going to see
Uh-huh.
an athlete or, a personal client, do you have to prepare yourself mentally for whatever situation you're going in? Do you have to say, okay, so I'm going to this session today. Let me,
Yeah.
talk to myself a little bit and prepare myself mentally, physically, and all the alleys in order. Tell me what that is like for you on a day to day.
Yeah, so yeah, at the beginning it's definitely harder, but after you do it for a few years, then it's just something naturally it's in you. So no, I wouldn't prepare now because I'm always ready for what it comes with it because I've seen it a lot. So not anymore. But at the beginning, I used to. watch a lot of video, like research about it, but now, because it's the exact same reason for so many people why they cannot do certain things. And that's, I'm sorry to say, but it's excuse, because we've seen it over and over, and we've seen people who overcome it over and over. So no, it's just something that naturally comes after a certain time.
You have been a trainer for many years. How
Right.
do you stay current with the latest development in exercise science and fitness training?
So the thing is, even though we are a trainer, we don't stop. Like myself, I'm always in the gym, right? And every 2 years, you have to get recertified. So to be recertified, you have to take courses. So you have to keep updating your knowledge. That's one thing to stay certified. So every 2 years, you have to take courses, and then you can get again certified. So it's not like one time you certify and you are good for your life. No, every 2 years, you have to get recertified. That's one thing. And the second thing, like me personally, I have a lot of passion for it. And all my social media, all my Instagram, I'm always watching people doing certain workouts, It just naturally, it just goes in the brain, and I work out every day pretty much. And it just is something that it's there. I'm always inside this situation. And
So
I do
you
research a lot.
so you are one of those trainers, or you're one of those coaches that works out with your clients. Do you work out with your clients?
No, I make them sweat, because if I work, no, I concentrate on them. I do my sweat in a different session. No, I make sure they're sweating. No, it's separate.
How do you integrate new knowledge into your workout with your clients? So let's say you have a routine that they're working on
Yeah.
for a month. How
Mhm.
do you change that as you go along? Are they receptive to the change, or do they rebel and say, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, this is hard work"? Tell me about how you move from stage to stage
Yes,
with your
yes.
clients.
So I love explaining for people why they do certain things. When you explain them why now it's time to switch it to something else, it's easier for them. So they know why they're doing certain things. But I did work with, I used to coach silver sneaker class. If you don't know, it's like a little bit, low intensity for older people. I also have certification for senior fitness specialization, basically. And I have experience with them. So when the client is older, I'm telling you, they do not like to be changed a lot. They like to have a same routine. If they come to the gym at 9 a.m., that's usually about older people. They want to have the exact same routine. you know I don't mess around, like little bit older adult. As long as they come, they make the progress, I'm happy, they're happy, and they're mentally happy also. But if someone is young, middle age, come on, let's change it. You don't like it, that's okay. That's gonna what give you the result. It's important what they like also. But I explain it and I switch it. It's sorry to say that, but when you are a coach, you have to have some type of, I'm the one who says what to do, have personality, right? I'm open to listen, I'm open to feedback. But if something is hard and you don't want to do it because it's hard, that's not a good reason we're going to do it. That's just should have some mentality of that in it. So I usually explain for them.
A career in a male dominated environment, what
Yeah.
are some of the challenges that you've experienced or faced in your journey, if you have experienced
Yeah,
any?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I would say I'm pretty cool with the female, and I'm pretty cool with the male also. But the problem is, there are a lot of males think I'm gonna be a soft and very soft and calm, and not gonna order them what to do. And usually they don't like to hear it. It's like, get up, we gotta move on. The men doesn't like to hear that from female, and I did notice that million times, right? That's something about being female trainer with the male. You have to tell them what to do, what to do, what to do, and usually they don't like it. Because it's just something naturally, it's in the men, right? But that's okay. That's one of the challenges that I always had it. But the thing is, when you are a coach, you have to have the control. You have to take the control over the session, right? But I'm not going to lose the control. But usually they do not enjoy, especially at the beginning, to tell them, all right, it's hurting, you have to continue. Or, just telling them what to do. So that was one of the challenges, definitely.
What strategies do you use to establish authority and command respect from your male athletes and your male colleagues? I want to hear some of the strategies.
Yes, yes. The thing is, the confidence that comes in the walking, in the talking, in the talk, in the showing the knowledge is there. It's very important. When you start showing that strength in your voice at the beginning, it's important. If you take it soft at beginning, it's so hard to close them all together. But usually when I'm working with anyone at the beginning, especially males, I'll talk hard, I talk strong. I don't act like, okay, now let's do, is that okay with you? This is what we're gonna do. At beginning, I show them at very beginning. So it's important at beginning to show them, because if you wanna change it in the middle, they're not gonna be accepting it. So
Wow.
yeah.
You're a physical trainer and you're an entrepreneur, how do you balance the two? Tell me a little bit about balancing the two.
Yeah, so I do few things. So I have my daily routine. So in the morning, I wake up around 4:30 to 5:30, somewhere around. And so that very early morning, it's my time, it's no one else's time. So I'm going to go to the workout. And if you don't know, I only train online, because right now I'm doing few things. So I do have my own application, as you know. So in the morning to 12, it's my social media time, because I have to create content, I have to answer people, I have to marketing, and I have to work out. So from 5 to 12, it's my time and my social media, making content, doing workout, dancing, whatever I want to do, because those things I can record while I'm working out, right? So you know from 4:30 I wake up, like around 5:30 to 12, it's my time and my social media time. And from 12 to whenever I sleep, I work till late actually. I launched the brand. You're familiar with this.
Yes, I'm going to ask you about that also.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to talk
So,
about that, of
yes,
course.
yes, yes. So this one takes a lot of my time. So I'll work with this on a website, on advertising. It's a different advertising, finding influencer to make advertise, and checking on my clients on a daily basis. I do go through to see they're working out, and yeah, to make sure they're doing certain weight that they're supposed to do. They're not really taking it easy. And I do have a limit of getting clients, because if I cannot have, a specific amount of time for each client, I will not accept more. That's why it's not on my social media. I have a limit. If I have one person opening, I'll bring a new person. So I'll go through their work. I go through, like, what do you call it? I go through my clients. I talk to them, and sometimes I work out with them if they are in Austin. But yeah, from 12 to night, it's just goes through, my brand and the fitness application. Yeah. And
Tell
sometimes
me.
again the social media, because I have 4 pages.
It's important. It's interesting that you say that, because sometimes time management is very important. And what I realize is that if you do not plan your day,
Yes,
sometimes you get nothing done. If you do not have an agenda of
that's true.
what you're going to do on a particular day with a time stamp to it, the entire day will run off and you get nothing
That's true.
done. So it is very interesting that you say that. How do you ensure that your clients maintain their progress even after they've complete their time with you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just want to add something on the time. We do not plan for failure. Failure comes because of lacking of having a plan. So for the time management, if we don't have a plan, like on my wall, there is like a calendar there, my skin routine, because there's so many things, right? There's so many things that if we don't plan on it, it will be fall behind. So I do have like my little notebook. I'm a pen person, and I do have a calendar that I tick. Okay, I did this, I did this, I did this. So that one is very important on the time management. And for my client, I do have Friday check-ins. So for the Fridays, because sometimes the thing is you don't know what you don't know, and usually they don't. Sometimes some people think the intensity is because it's online. So I would give them some certain workout, and they are going through it, and they are not pushing themselves because they don't know how much they should push themselves. So I go through their workout, and the way that it works is I can see how much they've been lifting throughout different dates. If I see they're still, for example, I give them lateral raise and they're still doing 5 pounds after 4 weeks with the same amount of repetition, definitely this person is not pushing herself. And there's a Friday check-ins that if I'm seeing, okay, the weight didn't change, that's fine, let me see the photo, and the photo didn't change, it's been 4 weeks, we say if there is 2 to 3 weeks, there is no change, there is a plateau, there is something is lacking. Either it could be nutrition. Okay, let's come and talk, let's see what's lacking. Either it's nutrition, either they're not pushing themselves, so let's figure out what it is. And if you need something to be changed, just communicate with me. I wanted to work with you. I wanted this to work for you. So that's how I know someone is really making progress, or they're in a beginner stage that they don't know how to do certain things. And I always
Wow.
say, call me. You never bother me.
Oh
Call
yeah.
me, text
Oh
me.
yes, I know that very well.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that
It's like
very
if you
well.
have question, that's a good sign. It means you're doing it. Call me. So no, I definitely love to stay in touch with them.
Great. Uh tell what I would like to ask, it's something that I've thought about. Would you say that a personal trainer or a physical trainer, would you say it is a smart career choice?
I will say for who, because it does require, sorry to say, a certain personality traits. You should be a person who is comfortable with people. If you want to do it yourself, if you are a business owner and you will hire people that's different. But if you want to do it yourself, you should be a person who is flexible, you know to learn, because there's always new things is coming. You have to be a learner. If there's some personality traits that you should have, if you are a person who gets to the argue very quick, who's short temper, it's not going to work, because you're going to meet so many people with so many different opinions, and you have to understand if someone is biased about something, it's okay, let them be biased. You are there to work out and listen to them. You don't have to sit there and argue and make their session miserable and your time. So there's certain personality traits, and it's about, I would say, there is a demand is there, but you have to know how to use it. It's definitely, it's like any other job. I would say it's a smart choice for a person who is built for it. If you are a person that just, if someone is a person that doesn't enjoy being in a gym or in a workout, but they know it makes a good money and that's why they're there, definitely it's not a smart choice. It's about your interest and your personality. I would say in overall, if you are willing to put the work, because by the end of the day, it's a sales work, right? I always see it as a helping others, but by the end of the day, it's sale. But if you don't like sales, you're not going to be successful in it, right? Because it's a sales work. So you should have certain mindset for it. If you have it, yeah, for sure, there's demand is there, definitely.
Personal trainer or a physical trainer, an entrepreneur, have you ever had a situation where you had to put off one for the other?
I would say no because I work for myself. So I would say this is part of I enjoy doing it. So I would say no because I also, I do modeling as well. So I just, every single week I plan my week. So usually no, as long as, and I don't have kids. So that's a good thing. All day is myself. So I just plan my day. No, I never had a choice that say, oh, I don't want. I would say the fact that I have a limited amount of client, it could show that I'm not open to get a lot of clients. So that could be a little bit show that I'm taking less opportunity from training to have more time on a brand, and my social media. But I would say, yeah, I kind of had some limitation on the training. I changed my mind.
You're in a male dominated environment or
Right,
space.
right.
Women who want to become personal trainers or physical trainer, what would you tell them if someone should come to you and said, Asal, I think I want to do this. What do you think? What kind of encouragement, what kind of advice would you give those women?
Yeah, so I would share my experience. I would say, okay, if you want to be there, that's amazing. If you like it, if you enjoy being around people, some people have some short temper personality. That's not a good thing, because you're going to work with so many angry people. And I did. You're going to work with so many depressed people. And I remember that I had few people that every time after the session, I needed to have a talk with myself, because uh, there's some negative people. You're going to meet everyone. You have to understand certain things before you enter to it. There are few things you have to understand. If you understand, you are good with it. Yeah, there is a demand, because I know a lot of women wants woman trainer, and there are men that wants woman trainer. There is a demand. I would tell them, yeah, of course, if there is somewhere more male, it doesn't mean there is not a demand for it. So if
Is there a particular reason why more men and women are requesting female trainers?
No, I would say there are female who wants male trainer, but there are a lot of female feel comfortable to talk with the female. So for example, I had a client, there's nothing wrong to talk about period with the man, but she was comfortable. So she was telling me, if I'm on a period and I have cramp, I don't feel shy to tell it to the man. Or if I have some woman issue, I want to tell it to the female. Or if I have some insecurity, or if I need to show my body, my check-in photos, I don't want to show it to the men. That could be some reasons. And for the men's, I did have a lot of a lot of clients, and I don't see anything wrong with it. They enjoy spending time with the females. It's just part of their pleasure, of not like a flirting, but if they're gonna be there 1 hour, they rather to see like a girl or female. And again, there's nothing wrong with it, as long as you are here and you're making the difference. Okay, let's do it. So I would say only these two options. There are men who likes to be around female more, and again, I never had any problem with it. There's some female they do, but I never had, like, okay, if it makes you feel better to come in the gym, there's no flirting or anything. They just enjoy spending the time with female more. So I was like, yeah, so that's the two reasons. For female, they feel more comfortable with the female, and there are male that they want to talk to a girl for that 1 hour,
Tell me about, let us segue a little bit now and just talk about your brand quickly. Tell me about your new brand that you launched recently.
Yeah, actually, it's doing pretty good. Actually, thankfully, it's doing better than what I expected to do. But yeah, so we are partnered with One Tree Planted. So I always had that plastic protein shaker that gets smelly, and they break. It's not good for environment. And after a certain amount of time, you cannot use it, because the odor will never go off of it. You wash it, it doesn't go. So what we did, we came up with the double stainless. There's a measuring mark in it too. So there we came with the double stainless wall shaker bottle, and we made it like the screw, because the tap ones, after sometimes it gets kind of soft and the water leaks. So anyway, so that's why we came out with this idea. I came out with this idea. So we're gonna make some more changes in it, but yeah, so that was the goal, that we made this product, and we also donate to the One Tree Planted.
Great. So, in terms of marketing yourself as a trainer, social media is very important to you. Tell me a little bit about that before we
Yeah.
wrap.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I have amazing, 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 kind followers. And I'm not kidding. That's just one of the blessing I had, that people to like me and follow me. So I have around 800,000 people on my social media. Yeah, and I've been so fortunate. I'm telling you, sometimes I just sit and cry, and I think about it. I'm not kidding. I'm so grateful for them. I'm with all my heart, I'm grateful. That's why I try to answer comments to like them. I truly love them. So that's why I spend time to create content. So that social media that I have, it does help me to show my brand, to show what is it all about, what's the thought behind it. And I do have a social media for this brand as well, but the main sale comes from my account, and I do the PPC campaigns. So the most of the advertisement budget that we have, it goes through the, basically you pay per click. So anyone who searches certain things, the product will come up at the top of the search volume. So the advertisement costs goes all through the PPC campaigns. On the social media, it's like word of the mouth, giving it to the influencer, let them try, do the video. That's the marketing strategy that we had so far. It's been like 3.5, 4 months so far. So it's super new. It's a 4-month-old baby.
As a trainer, do you get a lot of potential clients? Do you have a lot of potential clients who are trying to get your service as a
Yeah.
trainer?
Yes. And it's different now than before. I used to work in a gold gym, but now I've been doing it independently for since last 2 years. And I do have a limit, but I do have a lot of female DMing me that they love my body and they want to work it, toward the, having a thicker
Perfect
leg.
is hard. Perfect is so
Yes,
hard. Oh my
yes,
God,
yes.
it's hard. It's
Yes,
hard.
yes. So I that's how I get my clients, but I don't accept everyone because I do have limit. I usually tell them yes, but I'm not taking any new clients. So through my social media it comes.
Tell people how they can find you on social media. Tell us what your handles are so that people can come and find you and follow
Yes.
you and see those dancing videos or the whole works.
Yes. So it's Asal, ASAL Persian. Everywhere is the same username. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's Asal Persian. So ASAL Persian.